Hello, dear friends. It's 16:29. In a minute, we are starting our discussion session. As you know, you are going to ask your questions by writing on the comment section, and I will be explaining or answering them a bit later. Maybe a little delayed answers will be coming along. Today, we are discussing our OPE first ever. Then we are going to do some listening to that Oblast Olympiad test, which we didn't do on our test on Saturday, but we still can do it here. I don't have the audio version of that test. I just have a tape script, so I'm going to read the tape script. And your job will be to check yourselves. I had sent you the PDF of our Oblast Olympiad test, which was the test of Saturday. You can scroll down later, but it's all going to be later. And we are going to discuss what we will do next for the coming week. So we have some students on. Okay. Without further ado, good afternoon, Bagnur. Nice to hear you. I'm going to share your entire screen, would be nice. Here, I hope you do see my PDF for 9th graders. And last Saturday, we had our first OPE Oblast Olympiad preparation exam. And the questions were not from KBO books. They were from our previous year Oblast Olympiads. And this week, I decided to use questions that were actually given in 2013, 2012, basically. 2012 to 2013 academic year, in January 2013, they had asked following questions. And these questions were turned into a test format for you to be able to answer them on quizzes.com. So let's discuss the vocabulary zone. First task, usually the easiest one, but there is one little twerk here. As you can see, the first task is about odding one out. You would have to you'd have to check pronunciation of each word and see which one of three sounds differently. The first example is given: broad, cord, and dog. Here, I would assume that dog has the shortest syllable. O is pronounced shortly, therefore that's the answer. First one is easy: tea, lip, and meat. Tea and meat are diphthongs, and lip is a short E sound. Therefore, lip is odd. Now, when we come to this second one, this is when I could see that this question was very difficult for 53% of our students. I mean, more than half actually answered this question wrong, incorrectly. The true answer would be afternoon. And yes, it is very disturbing. Even Olympiad students themselves who've been through these questions were very disturbed, and they couldn't understand these. I mean, some questions might be quite confusing. In this case, afternoon is picked as an odd because it is this ter syllable isn't stressed. So we have easy, we have tribute, which in these cases ease are, or tribute if it's British. In these cases, e's are stressed, and in afternoon, e isn't stressed. Therefore, it is odd. At least the explanation of many other teachers were those. 3, show, chose, watch. Watch is odd. This, think, father. As you can see, think has this think has different sound of th. Jump, measure, bridge. Measure is odd. It doesn't have this d sound within the j. Pine, fan, twice. Fan obviously is odd. Stop, shop, code. Code is odd. In task 2, you were supposed to complete the sentences by adding some words from the box. This was easy. I wouldn't start discussing that. Task 3 is about ending the word combination. So this task was very easy in general. There were some students who did very big mistakes, but I think it's manageable. So the vocabulary section, this page, is actually very easy except for this one disturbing task. Let's go to grammar zone. Grammar zone is, well, it's suitable for intermediate level. In the first task, you were supposed to complete dialects. And in this case, my suggestion would be to complete the dialect with as few words as possible. So in the first case, you say, what do you do for a living? I sell fish at the harbor. Is business good? Well, and then you could add some other verb like earn, like I earned a lot last weekend, but I didn't earn much yesterday. But still, I would urge you to write sell, because sell is the safe word. It's already given in the exercise, so you're not going to be, you won't be mistaken if you use the same word again. So the better answer would be, well, I sold a lot last week, but I didn't sell much yesterday. And the last question would be, what are you going to do this afternoon, right? Some students might try to be creative and start asking questions like, did you know that there's a carnival this afternoon? Did you know that there are many tourists coming this afternoon? You shouldn't be too creative in these cases, because the teachers who check your test wouldn't be very delighted to hear different variations, and it's more likely that they are going to not accept this answer. So in such sentences, I urge you to be very laconic and predictable. In task 2, you choose one of 3 options. In this case, the topics are very different. Each sentence expects you to be able to know very different topics. So let me go through the true answers. She loves staying at home at the weekend. She talks softly. He can't play the piano. After modal verbs, we do not use any prepositions with to. What is he doing? He's buying some things for lunch. How much bread do you eat? as Brett is uncountable. They've got 3 children. Julia is the middle one. So we're talking about one person, so it's one. I prefer jazz to rock and roll. I always have a salad for lunch. We know that adverbs of frequency goes before do verbs and after be verbs. My father next year, so we use is going to. My father is going to move house next year. John is Sally apostrophe S, husband. Before, well, was it a hospital before? I am on holiday at the moment, but I am working in a hotel. The true answer here would be, by the way, I'm on holiday at the moment, but I work in a hotel. But I'm working in a hotel. Yes, it's present continuous. Am working. And I've never been to North America. In writing section, you were supposed to give the answering note to Mr. Hudson. This is going to be in actual Oblast Olympiads, but in OPEs, we don't ask such questions. These are the tasks you would have to do on your own with your local teachers. So I'm skipping that. Now let's come to the listening zone. We didn't ask this at OPEs, but I do have, you do also, you do have the transcript, tape script of this listening audio. I'm going to read it, and if you have your PDFs open, without looking at the screen, try answering the questions. Let me read the instructions first. So, listening task. Look at 6 questions. You will hear a man called Steve and a woman called Caroline talking about summer jobs. Decide if each sentence is correct or incorrect. If it's correct, select yes. If it's not correct, select no. One example has been done for you. So the first example, Steve hasn't arranged any work for the summer yet, is yes. So it's a correct answer. Now, next 5 sentences will have to be verified by you. Let's go. Caroline, so what are you going to do this summer? Steve, well, I'm probably going to go on holiday with my parents and my sister for a week, but I suppose I really should get a summer job. I haven't planned anything yet, but I really need to get some money. What about you? I'm going to Scotland for the summer. For the whole summer? Yeah, well, I'm going for 7 weeks. I'm going to work in a youth hostel in the mountains. Really? That sounds great. Yes, I think so. The work won't be very interesting. It will be mostly cooking, cleaning, working on reception, selling drinks and things. But my hours are 7 till 10 in the morning and 5 till 9 in the evening. So I'll have plenty of time during the day to go walking. That sounds fun. It'll be like a holiday, but you'll be earning money too. Yes, it's a chance to get out of the city and maybe meet some new people. I wish I could get a job like that. How did you find out about it? I read about it in a book called Summer Work Round Britain. It tells you about all kinds of different jobs in different places. You can work at farms picking fruit or at hotels near the sea. You can even get work at music festivals. Oh, I like the sound of that. Yes, of course, the problem with that sort of work is that it only lasts a few days. And once you've paid for your accommodation and food, you won't have much money left. Oh yes, I didn't think about that. And knowing me, I would spend all my extra money on music. So do you have to pay for your accommodation and food in Scotland then? Well, it's quite good. I'll be staying in a shared bedroom and they'll take £15 a week out of my wages to pay for that. My breakfast will be free because I'll probably be cooking breakfast for the guests. I can get dinner in the evening at a reduced price, so I only have to worry about lunch. Well, I hope you have a great time. Thanks. I'll lend you the book if you like. Maybe you'll find something too. Isn't it too late to apply? I don't think so. Anyway, it's worth a try. So as you can see, first Caroline's work will allow her to have free time during the day is a yes. Caroline's work will be located in a city is a no. She mentioned that this hostel is in the mountains. Caroline found out about the job from the internet, which is also a no. There's a book. Caroline says that work at music festival is badly paid. No, not really. And Caroline does not have to pay for her accommodation, which is also a no. She has to pay £15. Now, let's discuss reading part. The reading part in your test didn't look like a big text, but it actually looks like this. And as you can see, this text has 5 paragraphs, and each paragraph is suited for different people. You would have to match A, B, C, D, E with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the thing is, I've also found a nice website called examenglish.com, and this very exercise is given here. And you can see that this exercise was actually taken from PET books, from PET reading sections. So this is a nice website, examenglish.com. I would recommend you to go into that website from time to time and do given exercises. Most of the exercises are taken from PETs and CAEs for 10 and 11th graders. So it would be nice if you did all these exercises. Who knows? Maybe you would even come across the exercise you've done here. All right, two answers are given here too. Let's move on. Speaking point. Speaking is also one of those sections. We do not check at OPEs, but you will still have to do this with your local teachers. This is very important, like extra important. You know that at Oblast Olympiads, the first day is usually written exams, and the second day is all about speaking. And usually, speaking is the place when most of our students fail to pass. So this is a very important reminder for you to work with your local teacher on your speaking and practice a lot. That would be it for our ODS. Okay. Now let's see, do you have any questions? I don't think you have any questions. Good. Next week we are doing 8th graders. Next week, September, this week is the last week of September. And we do first certificate language practice. Again, second unit this time. We do use of English. We do first certificate reading and grammar and usage and vocabulary for FCEs. Last 2 books are easiest. I would want you to focus on first certificate reading, as it's going to be quite time consuming. And then there's use of English. Use of English actually is my favorite book, as grammar in use of English is explained bit by bit, very informative, very structured. And I mean, if you've done well with the use of English, you will be you will be okay with grammar forever. Ninth graders, we do advanced grammar in use, next 4 units. We do advanced vocabulary in use up to second 12th unit. We do Headway. This is the first time we start a new book. Headway is a classroom-oriented book. So as I've reminded you, you will have to be skipping lots of exercises that are directed for peer-to-peer discussion, classroom discussions. On Wednesday, we will be doing Headway Advanced together, and I'd be happy to hear from you and see how did you deal with notebook writing, note taking. What are your systems? Maybe there are things you might want to share. Sometimes you think that what you know is something that everyone knows by default, but that's not true. Sometimes the information you would share would be very good for others. Did we learn vocabulary for FCE 2 unit? Yes, we did last week. Likes and dislikes. Vocabulary for FCE, we do 2 units at a time. So you do likes and dislikes plus second unit was, I'm not sure what was it about. Anyway, you do, every week we do two units. So first week we do 2 units, second week we do 3 and 4, and so on. Results. I've already sent the results. Didn't you see your results by the end of quizzes, tests? You probably have seen that. You mean the rating of students, of the schools. This is something that we've already sent, and probably by time your teachers will be informing you about that. Don't worry, it's coming. So far, this is it. Please ask questions. Polat Khan got 87%. Wow, that's very nice for a newbie. Good. So far, I see no questions, except for FCE vocabulary. Results are already given. You ask your teachers. Yeah. Do you have the continuation of the plan? Well, yes, we have a plan for 1 academic year. According to that plan, KBO 1 happens by the end of November. KBO 2 happens by the end of January. KBO 3 happens at the beginning of April. And KBO is in May. I hope by that time, if we have our lockdown restrictions taken away, we will be able to organize some good camp. Most of students have missed a little outing. This marathon will be the whole year, don't worry about that. And these OPEs will be monthly. Every month or every month and a half, we will be doing these OPE exams. And in such weeks as in last, our marathon quiz will be cancelled, and instead of that, you will be having OPEs once in a month. But usually, weekly, we will have our marathon KBO questions. As you can see, if we start early and do bit by bit, weekly, we will have no stress. Questions and exercises will seem doable. Topics will be funnily easy, ridiculously easy. When will KBO 1 be? By the end of November, we are expecting 28th or 29th of November. So there it is. So I hope you take it seriously, and the earlier that you start taking this seriously and doing the exercises one by one page by page, by the end, you will be surprised how smart you got. So far, if you have no questions, that would be it. We've done it in 30 minutes, which is nice. If you need Oblast questions for the same year for 10th and 11th graders, let me know. I can send those too. By the way, did you try doing that too? Or did you just do for 9th graders and end of story? How did you deal with those OPEs? You can answer them later or in our Telegram channel. Therefore, I am ending the broadcast. See you next time.